Hello again, welcome back to the 120th. If you've watched the last couple of videos I've put up, you will have seen that I have been working on a Voigtlander Bessa, Voigtlander Bessa 1 specifically. So the Voigtlander Bessa 1 was brought out in 1951 and manufactured through to 1956. They sold roughly 80,000 units, I believe. It takes 120 film, medium format film, and it shoots 6:9 negatives, so lovely big negatives. It is a folding camera, of course. This one has the Voigtlander Bessa f4.5 105mm coated lens. This camera also came with a Colour Scopar f3.5 105mm lens. Which I believe was, it's a slightly faster lens, and I think it was supposed to be a slightly better option. Shutter speeds go from 1 second up to 1/250th of a second, and bulb, of course. So brought out in 1951. This could be as much as 70 years old, which is pretty cool, and it is at least 65 years old. So that's cool. This one is still in fairly good condition. The shutter is pretty good. It's a Pronto S shutter. This has a linked kind of shutter button, shutter depress button, which pushes a lever down here. The slower shutter speeds, as so often happens with these older cameras, start to get a bit sticky on this one. They start to slow down a bit. It is a different mechanism within the shutter that runs the slower shutter speeds, and it's slightly more prone to gumming up. Just to demonstrate though, this is half a second, so listen. So it's a little bit more than half a second. That's probably a second or so. That lens is looking pretty good now, I would say. So I'm pretty chuffed with how that's turned out. The whole camera actually is now it's cleaned up really nicely. A lot of muck came off this. It's in 70 years, 65, 70 years. It's gathered a lot of dirt, but it cleaned up really nicely. I was gentle with a lot of parts of it, so that I did clean the bellows a little bit, but I was quite gentle with those because by this stage, 65 years later, they will start to be getting a bit fragile. So it is going to take 6:9 negatives. There's the frame. That it is going to expose. It's massive, it's huge, isn't it? The film bay looks relatively clean. These light seals at the end here, they're in pretty good shape, There's really not a great deal wrong with it. There's not much corrosion. The fact that it was filthy suggests that it potentially wasn't, stored with great care. But it has escaped the worst of the, of what could have happened to it. It's really in quite good nick. So the Voigtlander Bessa one has a few interesting and unique features, which I'll just talk you through. First of all, here we have this little window here is linked to the wind-on mechanism, and it's actually a double exposure prevention. So you can't actually depress the shutter button until you've wound on past the click. And when this little window, when it needs to be wound on, it has an arrow that points to the left, looking top down, and once you go past the click, it then has an arrow that points up, pointing towards the shutter button, telling you that you are ready to fire again. There we go. So this Voigtlander Bessa is actually a dual format camera. It can shoot both 6:9 and 6:45, but you need a mask that goes in the film bay, and I don't have that mask, so I'll be shooting 6:9 with it. But rather cleverly, for the early 1950s, it has 4 masks that show up in the viewfinder, and they are 2 for 6:45 and 2 for 6:9. The 2 options on 6:45 and the 2 options on, it's obvious what 6:45 does. It narrows the mask, and 6:9 gives you a big wide view in the viewfinder. But the 2 settings in each of the formats are a parallax correction. So you have an infinity at 6:9, and then you click one across, and you have a separate mask for up to 1 meter. So anything that's closer than 1 meter, it's a separate mask to correct the parallax which you'll get between the viewfinder and the lens. How clever is that? So I am now going to load a roll of FP4 and take it out for a spin. So let's do that. Let's load a roll. So first thing we're going to do is going to close the front, break the struts, close the front. I'm going to push these two buttons here and we're going to open the back. So the film is going to go in here and going to wind from right to left. That, of course, the camera is upside down currently. Don't be fooled. Feed it into one of the slots. We're going to start turning and hopefully that is enough. Okay, so now that we can see these arrows, we've got nothing to line up. We're going to close the back. And there is frame 1. So I will close the window just to allow us to, just so we know it's kind of 100% light tight. And let's head out and take some photos. See you out there. I'm out and about in Chepstow this morning. It's a lovely misty morning, but I don't know Chepstow very well, so I actually know where I'm going, and chances are this mist is going to have burnt off by the time I get anywhere worthwhile. Right, this is quite nice. Just a shot of Chepstow Castle looking up through the trees. 7, stick at 1/100th and stick at an infinity focus, cock and fire. And wind on. Very atmospheric. I don't know if this lens is going to be anywhere near wide enough to do anything about this, but we should try, shouldn't we? Now, let's meter this. So what I do want to do, I want to get a pretty small aperture in this one, so a high number, so that I can get a big depth of field. And so let's go for f16. Where are we? Let's go f16. Let's put this onto bulb. I've got the focus. We're happy with the focus, and we're going for about a second and a bit, I'd say. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Right, and we're on to frame. Let's go and have a look up there. We're on to frame 4, and of course we're only getting 8 frames from this roll. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Especially if we, I mean, again, a wider lens would have done me a bit better here, but so be it. Right, let's set up here. Cock the shutter. 3, 2, 1. Right, we're getting close to something good here, I think. Something around here. Try and get that castle in the background if I get somebody walking past. Hiya. I'm just taking a photo of the castle. It'd be quite nice to have somebody in the foreground walking. Do you mind if I take a photo as you walk past? You don't have to do anything, you're just carrying about your business. Thank you. I might do the same one again with these guys. Morning gents, I'm just taking a photo of the castle. So you keep going. Do you mind if I take a photo as you walk past? Just so we get some people in the foreground, is that all right?
Yeah, you go for it.
Thank you. Thanks guys. So there we go. That was the Voigtlander Bessa 1. I was quite happy with the results there. I thought there was a couple obviously where the focus was a bit soft on what I was trying to focus on. But there we go, Voigtlander Bessa. I think, does it stay or does it go? I think it stays. I don't have anything currently that I like and trust that shoots sharp 6x9 negatives. So I quite like it for that, and I think I would certainly like to get it to a stage where I am confident in the images that it's shooting. So I'm going to hang on to this for a little while, especially seeing as I've got that lens so wonderfully shiny clean. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Nice little camera. And those negatives, I just love a 6x9 negative. They are massive, aren't they? So, Voigtlander Bessa, definitely one that is worth a try. Hope you have enjoyed me cleaning and shooting this Voigtlander Bessa. It's a lovely camera, it's worth a try. If you enjoyed this, then it's likely you'll enjoy other videos that I create. And therefore, I think it would be a benefit to you to subscribe. It's something you should really consider, you know. Don't rush into it, of course, you know, it's a big old button to push. You know, I don't want you to regret your decision. But if you do decide to hit that subscribe button, then I will, you know, offer you some reassurance that you'll find it extremely valuable being subscribed, because there's all sorts of very exciting stuff in our future together. First on that list, Rollei SLX2. New arrival, and also called CDS3, and I've got some exciting shoots planned in the local area with some very interesting people. So thanks a lot for joining me on this one. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I shall see you for the next one. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. Okay, goodbye.